This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Back with Taylor from Life Goal Investments. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. We're watching this interesting market play out here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Thank you again for doing this. It's nice to have just a totally 180 from all my other experts. So thank you for reaching out and giving us an hour each week. Something I don't think you and I have ever talked about is the crypto market. And, you know, we can talk about a couple of the big coins or whatever you want, but really for me, it's a lot of the, I don't know, marketing hype of crypto seems to have been smoke, right? It's a inflation hedge. It's non-correlated asset. I'm not seeing that. Are you?
Yeah, I don't know how we've stayed away from this topic as long as we have. This is like the hot dot that everyone wants to talk about, or maybe it's not at this point, as you've seen.
People are running away.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin peaked at around 68, 69,000. Now it's at about 30, maybe 31, 32, something like that. But to your point, like this has correlated, especially in the short term, almost perfectly with tech stocks. As you see tech stocks sell off, you see Bitcoin sell off as well. And, you know, I think the point that you were making,
crypto's down, or Bitcoin's down almost 10% today. I'm looking it up while you talk. It's down, it's under 32. It's 31,400. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It was in a range of 40 to 60, and it broke that range, and now it's down in that 30,000 ballpark. But to your point, like I think a lot of people marketed this as your way of hedging inflation, as government can't print more Bitcoin. There's a finite amount of Bitcoin, yada yada. But at the end of the day, right now we're seeing the worst inflation we've seen in 40 years, and this thing just got cut in half in the face of that. Like that's not as advertised.
No, it's so I don't know if you weren't following my channel. So I actually put 1% of my net worth in crypto coins. I don't know, about 2 years ago. I don't look at it. For me, it's an insurance hedge. Full disclosure, I did the same thing 15 years ago with silver. Put 1%. It's just right. It literally is an insurance policy.
Yep. Well, good for you. You probably, from 2 years ago, you're probably doing well, I would think.
Yeah. I'm on Bitcoin. I think my price point's like 18 grand or some 18.5.
And is it Bitcoin or is it some broad-based?
No, it's 4 coins: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and ADA. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Kind of a diversified portfolio. Anyways, I'm not recommending those coins at all. It's literally an insurance policy for me. I have a buddy of mine who's an 8-figure investor in this space, and I asked him what 4 coins, and I did that.
That's a give. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not smart enough, and I'm not going to do the research. But where I go with this is, again, I think we learned some bad lessons, right? We've learned buy the dip. We've learned meme stocks. We've learned momentum. We've learned chase the latest, Hollywood starlet who's pushing a stupid coin. People saw crypto, in my mind, as a way to get rich.
Yep. And overnight riches, no doubt.
And that's not investing.
No,
it's not. It's the land of charlatans and fraud and rug pulls and whatever else you want to call it. Investing is a process. Do the work, find value. And this was always destined to crash, just like last time, Bitcoin. I remember when Bitcoin back the first time it went
14, up 15 maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we were having professional athletes say, my mom was asking about crypto. And this is all predictable. And this is from a guy who has real money in the game. This is all predictable. When people start talking about anything being easy money, that's a sign that the dumb money is coming in and it's going to end badly.
Yeah. One thing struck me, and it was just, I was sitting down, it was right, mid football season this year, sitting down watching a football game, and a commercial comes on, and it's Matt Damon speaking about crypto. And the essence of the message was, if you're a man, and I actually think it was sexually driven towards men, you have to take risk. Look at what the pioneers of our country have done. You need to take risk. And that was synonymous in this message with buying crypto. It was a crypto.com advertisement. And I'm like, man, this is just really poor advice from someone that you would think would know better. He deems himself as this uber educated person that's, holier than thou. And it just was something that's, so anyway, but one of the things that kills me about crypto and that I can't really get my head around as a whole, is the lack of a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
So the barrier to entry, the moat to creating a new coin is so low. So now, granted, this kind of goes back to the peak of crypto, but at that point, there was over 100 different coins that have over $100 million of value each. Like I can name like 4 or 5 coins, maybe 10, right? But at the end of the day, you think that it's, so driven by the upper tier, and it is by your Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But there are 100 that at one point had over $100 million of value. And it's like, what's to say that, maybe we take Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and put them on the shelf. Outside of them, the 8th most popular one, what's to say that that can't be very easily disrupted by the next project that launches a new coin and causes that to dissipate at the end of the day? What is your barrier to entry is my big question mark of how you give these things value and say the value is sustainable.
Yeah. The big thing for me with stocks, real estate, coins, NFTs, any of this stuff is where people get burned is where they misclassify themselves. I'm an investor. No, you're a trader. I'm an investor. No, you're a speculator. None of these things are wrong. Where people get burned is where they call themselves A and they're B.
Yep.
And again, if you're going to be a speculator and you're going to bet on coins, 100xing, and you're going to take your $10,000 and put it on 10 coins, you might get 2 that win. That's essentially what freaking private equity does.
Yep,
but
that's
don't
exactly
dare call yourself an investor if you're going to speculate in the coins that are worth, 1/100th of a penny or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, look at Robinhood. So Robinhood IPO'd.
Yeah,
right. I mean, it's absurd, right? You get a cackle right out of the bat because you know how bad it's been. But Robinhood IPO'd last September, I want to say it was, at $40 a share. Yep. It's down between 70 and 80% since its IPO price. Yeah, and that says a few different things.
It's under $10.
It's under $10. So it's lost, 75%, whatever it is. So that says a couple things to me. That says that the people on that platform were obviously doing a couple things. They were looking at things in short periods of time. Robinhood in investing over their skis when it comes to risk. Because what that says is if your stock price is down 75%, people have left your platform. And the only reason why people leave investing is when they don't do well investing.
Yeah.
And so Robinhood was getting paid more. It was more profitable for them to have you trade options than it was to have you trade stocks.
Of course.
So therefore, what obviously are they going to propel you to do? They're going to influence you to trade options. And that is the worst thing on the planet for a new investor to invest in are options, because stocks at the end of the day, barring some bankruptcies, et cetera, you're not going to lose all your money in a stock. At least it's pretty darn unlikely.
You won't, and you will certainly not lose it in a heartbeat, right? There
Correct.
will be
Whereas most options expire worthless.
Zero, zilch. Yeah, the purpose of option is to de-risk, and most of them do end at 0. Yes.
Yeah, exactly right. So now we kind of circled around. I don't know how I got to options from crypto, but they were all, the crypto craze was there too as well. And they're not the only platform. The only difference between them and some other platforms right now is that they're public. So, the less established new platforms that are online are all private. But I can't imagine what their balance sheet looks like if Robinhood is down 75%.
No. The last thing we'll talk about here, because this is really happening, and this is where capitulation comes in. The amount of leverage, margin. Well, first off, if you're buying crypto and you're on margin, you're a moron. You're just a moron, right? There's one thing to own the coin, and there's another thing to be on margin. Same thing goes. Yeah.
Borrowing to buy that volatility. Yeah. Yeah, you're a gunslinger.
No, you're a drunk gunslinger.
Fair. That's a drunken sailor.
Yeah, and you're not going to win a gunfight if you're drunk. I mean,
true. You can't aim.
You can't aim. You're freaking slow off the draw. You're dead. Yeah. So what's happening right now is margin calls, liquidity crush. There's again, go back and watch episode. I don't have any good feeling, but the good news is the bottom is closer than it was yesterday.
True. And so the other scary thing with these, though, is that people have and essentially created this synthetic vehicle called stable coins
Yeah.
to then yield 8 to 9%
Yeah.
based on them lending out your money on the back end with the backing of different coins.
Staking
And it's
or
like,
whatever they call it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh boy, okay, now your collateral is worth 50% of what it was in this stable coin. It starts to draw into question. And at the end of the day, like you should have seen from the beginning, if something's offering 8 to 9%,
Yeah.
there's a meaningful inherent risk there.
You would think, yeah, but they didn't, because a stable coin, it's got to be stable. It's got stable in the name. I mean, come on.
God, that's good marketing.
It is good marketing. It's freaking awesome. The other thing, we'll just go here just because of crypto. I actually put out a video about 6 months ago suggesting that Michael Saylor, who obviously you know who he is, is put so much risk into MicroStrategies that ultimately there will be a price where he gets fired. And we're a lot closer to that number now. I think I read somewhere, didn't validate it, that he gets a margin call at like 21 or 22,000.
Yep.
And again, this is a guy who borrowed money
to
buy Bitcoin over and over. He is pot committed.
Oh, he's all in. Yeah. And I mean, this is such a volatile asset class. Again, in 2014, it ran from $4,000 to Bitcoin. I'm talking about $4,000 to $30,000 seemingly overnight, and then it came back down and that bumped around $8,000 to $9,000 for a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And he's in at 21. We're at 32 right now. There's nothing to say that there's a bottom there. No. And that was the whole argument again that people have against coin is like, what is the real intrinsic value to it? And you probably could tell I'm not a huge advocate. I'm not hugely opposed to it either. For context, some of the bigger names like a Bitcoin, etc., if people want to dabble there, to your point of a small percentage, but the intrinsic value is really hard to monetize.
No, I again, when you talk about crypto, again, a guy who's actually put real money, 1% of his net worth in it, to me, it's a store of value. It's not a currency, right? You're not going to go to Starbucks and use it. To me, it's far closer, in my opinion, to gold than the dollar, in my opinion.
Yeah, and gold in this environment right now, gold has been a good investment, and in a stagflationary environment, gold is going to continue to be a good investment, at least if history is any indicator there. So if it does react that way, unfortunately, to your point of like, that is how it's been marketed to react that way, but it's acting like a tech stock right now, which is worrisome.
Yeah, it's funny. Over the weekend, I did my Saturday daily financial news, and I'm like, well, you go back and watch my show. It's right there in the playlist. I said, hey, bad news for the NASDAQ. Bitcoin's down 5% this morning. And if
it absolutely is.
It's correlated.
It's so well put. It's so well put. It really is. Well, you think about it, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The people that own one also own the other.
Yeah, there's just we are in it right now. It is going. We are in it. It's again, I got good news. It's down 5%. We're closer to the bottom than we were yesterday. I'm not calling where the bottom is. It's just mathematically speaking, we're closer. Yeah.
Fair assessment.
Any closing thoughts from you, Life Goal Investments, Taylor?
No. Like I said, from the beginning, we haven't necessarily been big proponents of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it might be. But I think, I can't fault someone that has a 1%, 2%, 3%, something like that, their net worth. Just be careful going above those numbers, because it is ultra volatile. And, you don't want to do it right now, but it's much better to have that investment now than it was 6 months ago or whatever, because to your point, you're close to the bottom. So.
Yeah. The other thing you would do if you're really going to treat like an insurance policy is you just never look at it. That's the key, right? You don't look at it and you drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. Now your mentality, your position on that is about as well put as I think someone could use it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much. Again, go follow Life Goal Investments on Instagram. See a great post about diversification and Kathy Wood. It was very well done. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks so much, Michael. Great to speak with you.